Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The Mets cannot stop winning. Same with the Giants. There's a new AL West leader, and it's a big AL Central episode. Let's have a Friday. You hitting or pitching?
Fernando Valenzuela.
Jung-Hoo Lee. Foul ball.
Oh, I like that combination.
Foul ball. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek Code Talkin' 2025. Jake Storielli, Trevor Plouffe, Rob Scirocco here, and we are talking ball. April 25th, kind of like the 1 month mark. Your team has had a good or a bad or a mediocre month. It's official. Trev, how's your month, pal?
My month specifically to me has been great. I can't lie there. For my Twinkies, my twins, not so great, for being honest. We'll get into that a little bit as they've taken 2 or 3 from the White Sox. But I'm excited to talk ball with you. There has been some sweeps. Don't.
Yeah, I'm going to tell the people we're not going to talk a ton about
We're probably not going to talk a lot about them.
No.
So let me get it in the open, okay?
Yeah.
There's been some sweeps. There's been some great ball being played. I think one team out. Well, we'll get into that later. But yeah, I'm excited to hear what you got to say, Pop. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm a sports loser. So last night, Knicks Pistons, a big game 3. The NFL draft going on, big for Giants, putting some capital in there, big for our Talking Giants guy, Justin Pennick. And then catching up on the baseball throughout the night. The Guardians gave my Yankees the business, so I got to see that product. I know you and me, we don't know what to do with the Guardians ever. But they just win baseball games. Kyle Manzardo out of his dome.
You knew that was coming.
Yeah, I know. They trade for a guy, you got to watch out. The AL Central actually did good. So I'm excited to give them some love. And I'm excited for Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product, 5 stars by over 300,000 people. And if your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane eye protection in all of eyewear. Lose them, break them, they got you covered. If you don't love your shades, exchange for a new pair and return worry-free within 30 days. And we've got our best deal of the season. Code TALKIN, 35% off your next pair of polarized sunglasses. That's Code TALKIN at ShadyRays.com. Go get yours now. You think a little NL? A little Friday National League?
That's what we do here,
That's what we do. Let's get it then. Oh, remix. Oh, Bobby teasing the people. Know who's not teasing the people? The San Francisco Giants. Or are they, Coach? They take 3 out of 4 from the Brew Crew. Wilmer Flores is driving in runs with all of the best players in baseball. Our guy Yelly sack fly drops it. Ends up kind of losing the game, but they were going to get the sack fly anyways. Giants are playing fantastic baseball. I think they're 14-1 against right-handed starting pitchers or something of that nature. That's good. The New York Mets cannot stop winning. Whether it's early or it's late, whether it's Lindor, whether it's Alonso. And everybody pitches. They are the new Brewers, or what the Brewers used to be. Our Jolly Olive was at the game for the walk-up. I gave him permission. He texted me, "Can I go to the game, Jake?" Yeah, Jolly, knock yourself out. Make it work, bro. Phillies, that bullpen, slipping a little bit. Speaking of slipping a little bit, the St. Louis Cardinals, right when we built them up, they started building themselves down. And the Braves, they win 2 out of 3. They have a really nice homestand, 5 out of 6. Water finding its level, maybe a little bit. How about the big Eli White homer late? That's who they're banking on. More so Spencer Schwellenbach and some other guys. Braves getting back to their winning ways. Cardinals, and a bit of a dive. The Rays take 2 out of 3 from the Diamondbacks. Rays, I don't know if this is a you thing. I don't know if this is a snake-bitten thing. It feels like this has been happening to these teams a lot. The Rays take 2 late. I don't want to say out of nowhere, but they get to the Diamondbacks bullpen. Diamondbacks have to feel like they were going to win 3 games they end up losing the series 2 out of 3. Cameron Meisner is playing out of his dome. Ray's going Ray. They're winning some baseball games. The Cubs won 2 against the Dodgers. A little opening weekend revenge. One of the craziest games of the year, Tuesday. We actually talked about it a little bit on the midweek, 11-10. The Cubs outfield, everyone had 3 hits. Everyone on both teams had hits. And then the Cubs come back. They do it the next day. Pete Crow Armstrong. Yo, that guy's a dude. Cubbies. There it go. Cubs go. Nats take 2 out of 3 from the Orioles. The Orioles, they win the final game. They got a pitching performance. Cade Povich, 6.2, 1 earned run. But the Nats got that. Mitchell Parker, 8 innings of 1-hit ball in that first game. James Wood is the second best hitter in first at-bats this season. I got all sorts of stats, bro. Marlins beat the Reds, 2 out of 3. Max Meyer, we hyped him in the midweek. 6 innings, 14 Ks. Augustin Ramirez might be another good hitting catcher in the big leagues for the Fish. Brady Singer and Austin Wynn, speaking of hitting catchers, Reds lose to the Marlins, and that's what happened in the National League.
Excellent job, Pop. I got the standings if you want them.
Yeah.
In the National League East, the Mets are proving me wrong. There's no doubt about that. Playing excellent baseball. We'll get into that. 18-7 on top of that division. 5 games ahead of the Phillies, who are 13-12. Miami, 11-13. Washington, 11-14. And the Braves, nice homestand. Still at the bottom of the division, 10-14. In the Central, the Chicago Cubs, 16-10. 3 games over the Milwaukee Brewers, who are dead even at 13-13. The Cincinnati Reds at 12-13. St. Louis, as you mentioned, taking a little bit of dive. I think they're 2-6 in their last 8 games. They're 10-15, and the Pirates, who I'll see tonight, are 10-16. Out west, the Padres are leading the division, 17-8. They're a half game above the San Francisco Giants, who are 17-9. The Dodgers are 16-9, and your Snakes are 14-11. And the Rockies, because of course they are 4-20. 420 Rocks, and those are the standings in the National League.
Trevor, well done per usual. And yeah, this I don't know if the people want to do anything with this. Trev, you delivered the standings so beautifully, and question if you should every time. This is the first episode. This is the first episode I opened the standings on one of my tabs.
Oh,
I know.
Okay,
people might be surprised by that, and it's
that time for you.
It's a half lie. I guess I was excited today to open the standings and be like, 18-7 out of the New York Mets.
Yes.
That's a great month. Like, it's done. It's over. Like, a month like that during a 6-month baseball season can carry you. We always joke about the undefeated Rays of 23, but like this carries you to the All-Star break. In
a game of peaks and valleys, when you have a month like this, it allows you to be able to go through a rough stretch of baseball, which is pretty much inevitable. And you can keep your division lead, or like say you're middling for 2 months and you go 500 ball over 2 months. Well, you have this month to carry you through the standing. So I agree with you. I mean, a lot of times through 1 month, what does it mean? But specifically for the Mets, I believe, we're going to look back at their April like this is the month for them that made their season.
Well, another team that's kind of making their season right now is the San Francisco Giants. They take 3 out of 4 from the Brewers. They are 17-9. Again, it's one of those, the NL West. It's all this Dodgers hype and super team. The Padres were the team of the first couple weeks of the season and how good they were playing, 12-1 at home. These Giants, Trev, I missed it on the way through. They're 15-2 against right-handed starting pitching.
This is in my open. I was talking about a team outdid another team. I think the Giants outbrewered the Brewers in this series, playing really good defense, taking the extra base, timely hitting. You can talk about the game yesterday. I don't fault Yelly for that catch. I believe the guy was going to score anyway. We're going to talk about my guy Wilmer Flores a little bit later in the show. But just to come back the way they did, it kind of shows that this team can. Like I always reference, the teams that are good can beat you in a variety of different ways. So they're trailing in this game. yesterday. Matt Chapman hits the 2-run homer. Yaz hits a sac fly. They get the fielder's choice right here. And then they have the sac fly at the end to go ahead. And then they have guys at the back in the bullpen that can get the job done. So they're a complete team. They're having fun doing it. This is one of the teams I missed on, man. Like we said, they could be good, but they have a chance to be really, really good the way they're playing right now.
Their bullpen has been really strong, and it's not Ryan Walker, who was so good for them last year. It's kind of everybody else. And Camilo Doval. That guy's one of my favorite humans I've ever seen throw a baseball, and he ended up in the bad place last year, got sent down. He closed out their last 3 games in this series. But yeah, I guess I'm interested to see if that stays or if Ryan Walker. But Camilo Doval at his best is better than anyone. It just went away, and it's a weird sport for them.
It is. It's great to see him back. And, this series caused so much turmoil that the Brewers had a team meeting after that last loss. I mean, it's they just didn't make plays that they have to make. Like, this is their team makeup, their team identity. We always talk about that. They're a defensive team. They're a run prevention team. And they have to take the extra base. They have to run the bases correctly. Even the fielder's choice right there we just showed that Yaz hit. Like, Turang has to make a pretty much a perfect throw with Fitzgerald running at third base right there. But, like, that's an easy throw. You can make that throw. You're a big leaguer. And he didn't make it. And that's, you lose games if you don't make those plays.
Oh, and that's the speed equation. Like, Tyler Fitzgerald can fly. So, like, speed changes.
You got to make, like, I know it seems like it's going to be bang, bang, but, like, you can make that throw. You make that throw a lot.
I know, but if that was even like a league,
you're giving credit to the Giants, which is right.
If that's a league average speed guy, before that play, if you're the second baseman, you're saying, okay, I don't have to be as quick as possible with this. With Fitzgerald on third, it's in all the infielders' heads. Like, I have to make this play. Pressure makes diamonds, Trev. And circle this for the Brewers. Like you said, Pat Murphy closed the door 30 minutes, said it was the Brewers' worst defensive showing in 10 years, and he wanted to unpack what unfolded over the past 4 days to reinforce what kind of unit the scrappy, speedy, slick fielding, stingy pitching Brewers are going to be. Circle that day for me. I want to see what happens next, because I want to believe in that, but pro sports have kind of told me this stuff doesn't work anymore, but maybe it does, Trev.
I think with a guy like Pat Murphy, it does. I like it. When we've been around him quite a bit. Like, he demands attention. Like, when he speaks, you kind of listen. I like it.
Trev, the New York Metropolitans have won 7 in a row. They beat the Phillies. Phillies with some bullpen issues. I mentioned that. Or maybe they had a Mets issue. Because Starling Marte with the walk-off in that final game. Brett Beatty started hitting. Doesn't matter. They sent him down because we got more guys. Brett, appreciate you. Man, we kind of were putting the parts together here because we're like, okay, the Mets are pitching. The Mets haven't really been hitting. And now it feels like the team is starting to come around offensively, which, again, they've been one of, if not the best teams in baseball. And it feels like they're still going up.
It does, and again, we've been shocked by the pitching, which is fine. But they've put it together and they look great. I mean, watching Tyler McGill throw, you're like, okay, I understand why you can be, someone in this league. But it's that last game, the resilience they showed right there. Castellanos puts him up in the 10th. After getting thrown out by Juan freaking Soto on a Max Kepler base knock. Talk about that. But the at-bat by Pete Alonso, like, he kind of sticks the bat out. Wasn't a bad pitch by Romano, but he goes to the opposite field there, ties the game. And Starling Marte just kind of does get a pitch over the heart of the plate, walks him off. Jolly is going crazy. I mean, they are a little bit juggernaut, a little bit resilience. They're just playing the game the right way right now. And this is just fucking crazy for me to say this right now. Okay. The culture there seems incredible.
Wow. Wow. Mets culture.
Go Juan Soto, go. Let's go. You used to tell me Juan Soto can throw a little bit.
He can throw. Yeah. He has a
nice throw.
It wasn't a great throw.
It wasn't a great throw. Got rid of it though.
He got rid of it quick. No, he has
120 feet away.
He has good arms. He's a powerful guy. Juan Soto defensive highlights. Hey, Mets, you don't want to hear it from me either way, but you guys are playing great. The pitching, the lineup's still coming. There's a little bit of a Phillies situation going on here. Aaron Nola, 0-5. Yep. The fastball velo's low. Sanchez, our 6'11" starting pitcher, he leaves with some forearm stuff. Like some of the Phillies' problems are getting real-ish. They're 13-12, and it's April. So
no, they're real. They're not real-ish. Yeah. They're real, and that's what's a little bit scary here. I mean, they're going to have to figure this out. You know, Nola's going to have to figure it out. If Aaron Nola, you know, for some reason, is his velo's down and it continues to be that way, and he's over the heart of the plate and he continues to get hit, and like you said, Sanchez being out, like that's one of the calling cards of this team. And you know, they haven't hit the way they should hit either. So there's kind of problems all over that field. They're not a defensive first team. They got to throw the ball and they got to mash the ball, and they really haven't done that.
No. Hey, it's a credit to the Mets right now because nobody's beating them. 12-1 at home. Mets culture. We might have to make. We might have to make a shirt.
True.
We might have to make a shirt on
Is
that.
Jesse Winker the glue guy they needed all along?
Speaking of glue guys, I want to give a shout out to Pat Wagner and Corey, a couple JM Substack subscribers. We're giving shout outs every episode. Go to johnboymedia.com for more exclusive John Boy Media content. We have some behind the scenes stuff we're posting every day. So thank you guys. Go check that out. Also, I mentioned the home record of the Mets. The Braves are on the opposite side because they were 2-11 on the road, and that was a big part of their slow start, which, okay, let's go deal with that our next road trip. They have a really nice homestand. They beat the Cardinals 2 games out of 3. That was after they swept your Twins. So again, I don't know where those two teams are going to fall in the standings this year. But for a Braves team that need to get going, 5 out of 6, nice couple games for Atlanta.
Yeah, the offense looks a little bit better. I mean, obviously Sean Murphy has been really good as of late, but the other guys have got it going as well. Yeah, I mean, how much stock do you put into beating my Twins at that time? Probably not much, but like they, you know.
Whoa.
They're playing good baseball. You know, a Braves fan commented on one of our posts, and he said, "Hey guys, like we still believe in this team. You got to see the way they're playing now. It was a bad start, and you know what? It's one guy saying that, but it kind of put it in my mind. It put it in my mind. Like we have counted this team out before. They are dealing with major injuries. I think we put a little bit too much stock into the Snitker Acuna stuff. Like he's coming back." And when that happens, if before the season, if we said, "Hey man, the Braves can be a 500 club," and then Acuna comes back, and be like, "Dude, that sounds good." They can be a 500 club, and Acuna can be back, and we could be talking about the Braves being in the race again very quickly. So, I'm happy for the Braves taking 2 out of 3, 5 out of 6 in the homestand. Cardinals, you're right. You know, just when we started going and giving them credit, they got to 500. I believe they were 8-8, and they've been 2-6 since then. So. They need to step it
up. Sometimes it's dudes. Matt Olson, big homestand. He's gotten going. Michael Harris, too, big homestand. He's gotten going. Let's see if they can.
Eli White did mash that ball.
Eli White mashed that ball. He can run like the wind, too. But, hey, put a good swing on it, kid. Rays fans, genuinely let me know if you're offended or not. But, well, hey. Diamondbacks bullpen, 4 blown saves in the last 6 games. Not great. You have to give credit to the other guys in that situation. The Rays, again, they were getting perfect game by Corbin Burns for a little bit in the final game. Again, maybe this is a fantastic team identity that these guys don't die. A couple of their recent wins have been late game comebacks. But yeah, I think if you're the Snakes, you're punching pillows a little bit because you thought you had a sweep and you lost the series.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how it's crazy. You win the series, but you could have got swept if you're the Rays. That second game, Perdomo with a chance to at least tie it, maybe go ahead there. I wanted to get that play up, but maybe you can, Robbie, quickly. The ground ball double play by Perdomo, because B. Loud did such an amazing job on that play, positioning his body to turn the double play. Going to his left, and instead of kind of getting it and then turning, it was a chopper, so he's able to kind of see the hop, and he just turned his shoulders already, so he caught it like almost like a backhand going towards second base, which allowed them to turn it on Perdomo. And those are the things the Rays are going to have to do throughout the season. And a simple thing like that wins you a baseball game. Huge series for the Rays. I hope you can get that video, because it is. When I saw it, I was like, okay, like that's something that you know an experienced second baseman does. And again, it ended up winning in the baseball game.
And I don't know what it. Let's see where Tampa season goes. I don't know. I don't think the Rays know at this point, if they're being honest. But if Brandon Lowe stays healthy, and he does what he does offensively, that's a guy that a lot of teams are going to be interested in. Team option contract. Hey, Rays have some nice numbers. The offense is top 10, more or less. The pitching is close to top 10. So, hey, maybe and
here we go. Check this out, Jake. Watch him turn his body, get around the ball. He's like kind of like backhands it, so he doesn't have to turn the shoulders after he fields it. Awesome. That's a difficult play right there.
Yeah, that's a long throw for a second base. Corbin Carroll and Perdomo running, so that's not easy.
That's what I'm saying. See where he threw that ball from, too. Like, to get the strength for that throw, he's already positioned his body perfectly. I know I keep repeating myself, but it really is an impressive play.
Snakes, third in runs, third in OPS. The pitching has to pick it up a little bit, and maybe it's, again, we get dramatic. I see the blown saves in the last 6 games, so we could be talking. If they win those games, we're saying, how hot are the Snakes right now? So let's get the pitching clicking a little more in the desert. Who do they have coming up? Let's see. Schedule watch. Oh, the Braves. That's a fun little weekend.
That is fun. I like that.
And then they go at Mets, at Phillies. So the Snakes, they're in it for a little bit. That's going to be fun. Trev, this was only a 2-game set. It's 2 of the best teams in baseball, so I don't know how far we want to go into it. But the Cubs with 2 impressive 1-run wins over the Dodgers. Again, a lot of what I would say is what we said during the midweek. It's just that the Cubs are here, and they want to. It feels like they've played the Dodgers like 3 times. All of their series have been NL West. The outfield, I am going to talk about a little later, but I don't know. The Cubbies are great, and the Dodgers are great. The Cubbies, we found out, are great this first month of the season.
No, they're kind of firing on all cylinders right now. And well, I guess not on all cylinders. Like, they still need work with their bullpen. That's why we've been seeing a lot of these, what we are calling some of the best games of the year, true. Because they've been blowing a lot of leads. But, they're able to, sustain that. They're able to get outs when they need it. They need to get big hits. We're going to talk a lot about this series a little bit later on. So get on the Cubs. Are they done with the Dodgers?
They have
I think
to.
they are.
I
think they're done with the Dodgers this year, which is crazy. They obviously have the series, the season series against them. So if they end up in a tie,
whoa,
1 seed.
Trev.
That's schedule watch already.
Trev, tiebreaker talk.
I'm just saying.
April 25th. Yeah, a little more on both those teams.
Miguel Amaya in the basket.
Yeah, that was
Ian Happ. We talked about
cool.
this.
That was pretty cool. Trev, these last 2 aren't too sexy. I'm going to be honest. It's Orioles, Nats. Orioles drop another set. I mentioned Povich with the big start to get them a win, which maybe that can relax the clubhouse and we can get some pitching on some days. And then Marlins 2 out of 3 from the Reds. I shouted out Max Meyer's performance, but whatever you've got on those 2 series.
I think you hit the AL pop.
Whoa. Sorry, fans. James
Wood, you're a stud. Go check out Mitchell Parker. We're going to talk about him a little bit later. Let's go.
James Wood, he's really good. I think, what was Bob had the set? I think it was a Lindor stat. I think Lindor has the highest OPS and first at bats of the game. Yes, Lindor is first with a 1.5. Or no, he's second. James Wood, first at bat of the game, is 1.7ing.
He been hitting some homers.
How do you like that? Same with, what a list. Dansby, Tommy Edman, and Pavin Smith. Wow.
Lindor's so good too.
Yeah, I'm debating changing my second half to talk about him because he's been better than we thought he was, which that doesn't even make sense. All right, let's do some American League. I told you it's an AL Central week, baby. And the Cleveland Guard Dogs took 2 out of 3 from the New York Yankees. They knocked around Clark Schmidt in that first game up 6-0. Yanks showed a little fight. But Kyle Manzardo, I mentioned him, up there with the lead leaguers, in home runs. Yankees salvaged the set in the final game. Just a little FYI, people, Aaron Judge hitting in the 400s. The Houston Astros, hello, old friend. They sweep the Toronto Blue Jays. They got Hunter Brown, which the whole league is. Nobody can touch him right now. Blanco and Gusto only give up 1 run each. Good pitching, bad hitting, I don't know, but it's good for the Houston Astros. Jeremy Pena, I think they moved him to the cleanup spot, and he's been knocking it around. Christian Walker, with some signs of life. Houston's back in it. The Detroit Tigers, they take 2 out of 3 from the San Diego Padres. Hello. The Tigers playing a good brand of baseball. They couldn't survive full pension Piv, who, again, another one of these guys that nobody's hitting right now. But Reese Olson with the big start. Gleyber Torres, a couple big games in this set. New faces, new places. Detroit takes 2 out of 3. The Mariners do the same to the Boston Red Sox in the Commonwealth. Can't wait to hear where they are in the standings because I already know, Trev, it's the top. The Mariners survive that final game, a crazy final at bat. Munoz gets in one of the uglier swings and misses you'll see this year. Tristan Casas 3-run homer. Boston needs him to get going, a pair of 3-run homers. But the Seattle Mariners are winning ball games. That's all I like in my Pacific Northwest. The A's take 2 out of 3 from the Rangers. Rangers offense came that first game, 8 runs, the guys you'd expect, and Wyatt Langford with a big night. But the A's, they take the next 2, including one that the Rangers kind of booted away. It goes off Leody Tavares' glove. And our guy, Jacob Wilson, with the walk-off single. A's take 2 out of 3 in Sacto. Twins take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. Holy cow! Holy cow! Byron Buxton in the gap. What a play. Hey, and if you gave the Twins 9 innings on that last game, I bet they would have come back, but they didn't. They got shut out by the White Sox. Game gets rained out and canceled. Twins in the win come. Luke Keeschel?
Keeschel.
Sure. Royals sweep the Rockies. Yeah, and that's been happening a lot. The 420 Colorado Rockies. You can't make it up, can ya? Royals got some hitting. Drew Waters, 3-hit day. Big Salvi had been really on the struggle bus this year. Hopefully this gets him going after 2 big games. And a nice Michael Lorenzen start. Winning 2 games on a doubleheader. That's a nice day at the office. Speaking of, the Pittsburgh Pirates take 2 out of 3 from your Angels, Trev. I'm sorry, pal. These things happen. Andrew Heendog with the redemption start. 6 innings of 1-hit ball, 9 strikeouts. IKF with a big day at the office. Angels, Zach Neto, oh hoppy on that final game. And that's what happened in the American League. Brought to you by Best Western. Life's a trip. And Best Western is a place you should go on those trips. Every detour, destination, and unexpected turn along the way. We literally just did this. Our road trip. We had the vlog on this channel. A lot of you checked it out. Thank you. We stayed at a Best Western outside of Wrigley. We stopped middle of the night at a Best Western because it was literally the only place available. And they let us in with welcome arms. It's a really funny scene in that vlog because we are borderline not filled with life. But Best Western gave us some. So whatever wrong turn leads to the right story, whatever trip you've got going, take the scenic route. And hey, maybe go check out a Best Western wherever you're at. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at bestwestern.com. Trevor, do you have the standings?
That Best Western Jolly put out in Wrigleyville's pretty nice.
Dude. Yes.
You know what? Jolly was only there because I couldn't make it. My cousin was
Yeah.
getting married. So you know what, Jolly? You're welcome.
Yeah.
The
God.
people would have been so much happier with me there. I got the standings.
Yeah.
In the East,
the
your
Mets are hot.
Yanks
The Mets are
on
hot.
top of the division, 15-10, 2 games over. Hey, the Boston Red Sox, 14-13. The Toronto Blue Jays, 12-13. Tampa Bay, 11-14, and Baltimore, 10-14. In the Central, okay, Detroit, 15-10, a half game back are the Cleveland Guardians at 14-10. The Royals, 12-14. My Twins, 9-16. And then the Chicago White Sox, 6-19. Out west, yes, 2 teams tied above the division, 14-11 for both the Mariners and the Rangers. Houston right behind them at 13-11. The Angels right behind them at 12-12, and the A's right behind them at 12-13. Earmuffs, it's a clusterfuck. And those are the standings in the American League.
Earmuffs. Break some glass.
Good for the American League West.
Yeah. I agree.
There is some
with you.
fun ball being played in the American League West.
Well, that's the Rangers are winning and they're still not hitting.
They're not hitting at all.
The A's are, again, the 500 A's with all their kids. That's a fun product.
Do you think, just quick before we begin, do you think playing at a minor league ballpark helps the young A's?
No.
Because Lawrence Butler after the game was like, he was talking about Nick Kurtz making his debut.
You're right.
And he's like, I remember my debut, walking into a major league stadium, how cool it was. He goes, well, Nick Kurtz doesn't really get to do that, but you know what I mean.
Pretty good. Love some L-Butt. Kurtz, Nick, for us. Trev, let's give the Guards love, and Guardians, I'll be honest, maybe you might not love this segment, and it's not just because I'm Yankees, but me and Trev were laughing before this, literally before we started recording. Trev was like, I don't know how they do it, but they win the majority of their series, which gives them 90-plus wins every year. I think the secret is pitching, defense, and Jose Ramirez, and usually one other hitter. And that's what worked this week against the Yanks.
That is exactly the formula right there. They can throw the ball, they play defense, and there's Jose Ramirez, and one other guy is going to step up each game, basically. Right. I think we might have talked about this on Wednesday, but Gavin Williams is absolutely filthy, and he just needs to really lock it in and figure it out. And he could be like a legitimate ace in the big leagues with the stuff that he has. Got a couple of nice pitching performances out of him, out of Tanner Bybee. And then we talked about Kyle Manzardo being a 30-homer guy before the season. That's probably going to happen. And your formula you just put out there is exactly what's going on. I mean, Stephen Kwan running around the bases, Jose Ramirez doing his thing, Arias having a nice start to the year, and they take it to who many consider the best team in the American League, your Yankees.
Nice hearing you say those words. Yeah, Gavin Williams, if the light bulb fully goes on, people
it's just location, that's it.
And he I'm saying this in an endearing way. I don't know if it comes out. He is a big country bumpkin. My goodness. I mean, he is
a big boy.
His legs have legs.
He's coming downhill at you, and I did not like that as a hitter.
He showed some emotion on I think it was a nice Guardians double play, and I was like, ooh, if he's got that in him, watch out. And yet, I guess as we're giving love to Manzardo, Stephen Kwan's been one of the best players in baseball this year. So it's weird because it's I guess what it is, it's literally 2 or 3 guys in the lineup. So a lot of their innings, you're looking in, again, no offense to the Will Wilsons, Arias, Bo Naylor. There's a lot of innings you're kind of looking and you're like, wait, who's coming up? At the same time, it doesn't matter because they throw the ball incredibly well, and that's still important. Yanks, figure it out, or I'm not buying tickets.
Cade Smith getting some saves.
Yeah, they
Story to watch.
I think, Class A needed a little bit of a breather, got a lot of work, but yeah, Cade Smith, his fastball, guys can't line it up. He left a couple middle. And then you go look at the numbers and you're like, well, if nobody hits it, put it over the plate and figure the rest out. Go Cleveland, go Cavaliers, go Browns, go the whole city.
Okay.
Why am I the one driving the Houston Astro bus?
You are.
How did this happen?
It's going to be a full bus soon.
I think so, Trev. And it's a little bit of, I guess what I was trying to tell the people, they throw the ball incredibly well. Hunter Brown might be throwing the ball the best of anyone in baseball. And again, it's half glass full, half glass empty season. Their offense hasn't taken off yet. Christian Walker had some struggles. I'm going to put that as glass half full because I think it's coming.
This is a reminder series for everybody that's in the league, and I maybe directed at me too. It's a reminder that the Astros have been inevitable for quite some time. I haven't really felt that this year. It's kind of making me feel a certain way about the Astros. You're right. The way they're throwing the ball right now is something to behold. I mean, they've done this. They've pitched. We know that they find guys. I remember when Framber was a new thing.
Right.
And we're like, who's this guy? And now we understand he's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. Hunter Brown is about to be that guy. If he isn't already. So it's a nice series win or a sweep, excuse me, for the Astros. Again, a reminder that they're not to be messed with.
Yes, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Jordan hasn't really gone.
Dude, no one on their offense is going nuts. Paredes, every homer's in the Crawford box, which again is really good comedy.
That was the plan all along.
But yeah, nope. Altuve hasn't started going. Jordan, Paredes, no one's going for them, which I have as good news because I know half of those guys are going to get going.
Can I do a little fan fiction, a little erotica for Houston Astros fans?
I'll never say no to
So I do a Twins podcast, and one of the guys on there, they're not too high on the Twins right now, as you can expect. And they said, it's not too early to look at some trade candidates. And I said, yeah, that bullpen looks right for the picking. We talked about that a little bit. He goes, is there any way you think that Carlos Correa could make his way back to the Astros?
Ooh.
And I said, well, that would mean the Twins would have to ask him to waive his no trade clause. But could you see it?
Stop with that.
He fits.
Stop with that.
Move Pena over? No.
Stop with that. They need,
as Astros fans leave to go to the bathroom.
They need lefties. They need a lefty hitter. Brandon Lau, actually, that's a guy. That's a guy that would fit there really well. Toronto, they're getting out homered. That's a bad formula. Lost 5 straight.
5 straight, yeah.
Santander, 0 for his last 17, hitting.
They're not hitting for power.
Yeah. Which they should. So let's see what that is. But a couple free agents I really like this year, Santander and my guy Jock Peterson, who we will probably mention for a little bit, an 0 for 41. My goodness.
I think if you're Toronto and you're sitting here and you're sitting right around a 500 month and you haven't slugged basically at all,
right?
I think you're feeling pretty good.
Okay, I like that. Toronto fans would have signed up for 500 at the start of the month.
I think so.
Tigers take 2 out of 3 from San Diego. San Diego's first little sputter this season, / not playing at home. And the Detroit Tigers, man, I know you've got more on Reese Olson in a little bit. They've had a great first month.
They've answered all the questions that I've had for them. Preseason, I kind of question the rotation still. I thought there was some question marks there. They've thrown lights out, man. They've been excellent. And their numbers are even scarred from a Scooble bad outing. But they've been incredible. They were again this series. They really haven't hit the ball that well outside of like a Torkelson and a McKinstry. Like, I don't know if that's going to be their calling card. But that has to be such a great sight for Tigers fans to see Torkelson's continue to have good at bats. Look, I'm hoping this is a year-long thing for him. I think that's something you have to monitor. Like, hey, he's feeling good right now. Is that going to continue? I think it looks like he's made the necessary adjustments, but it might not matter, Jake,
Yeah.
because the rotation has been that good. Flaherty really seems to have found a home. I just did this with Rosie. 23 starts now with the Tigers, like to a 2.8. Like he's found the place that works for him, and to have him and Olsen and Mize like it along with Skubal just really, really sets the tone. And then obviously the bullpen too. So that is their team identity. They are rocking it, and probably one of my bigger misses on the season. I for some reason I just it's because I guess I'm a Twins guy. That's why.
Right.
Okay, I'm trying to give the Twins the benefit of the doubt. I should have seen this one coming.
15-10. 6 of their first 8 series they've won the first time since 2015, which again was a different world in Tigers baseball. And yeah, man, they're 11th in runs, which the way this team pitches, that can take them a real long way. So yeah, let's see how the meat of their lineup develops. Again, Glaber can really hit, and he had a big homer this series, 3-hit day. If their offense can be around top 10, even middle of the pack, like they can win a lot of ball games with how their team is built.
Reese Olson, of their 5 like main starters, I didn't even throw Jackson Jobe in there when I was talking about him, but he has the highest ERA of the bunch at 3.29.
That's good.
That's good.
I say that's good.
5 guys.
And this is really nothing, but it just showed on their transactions. They just sent down Bailey Horn, and his name just makes me laugh. Something about the simplicity of it. Bailey Horn. Yeah, come back.
You watched Tommy Kahnle pitch a lot.
Yes.
I don't think I ever faced him. In fact, I'm almost positive I never faced him. I don't get it, bro. Like, everyone knows the changeup is coming, and they still can't hit it. Like, I don't get it.
It's Trev. I could see you and me doing an hour and a half on it because it's kind of mind numbing, right? But are we so? I was just about to call myself a hitter. Are hitters so tuned in with being ready for a fastball that the changeup, even if you know it's coming, still feels off? Or is he throwing the fastball just enough? But it's wild.
This is my approach against him. If he throws me 3 fastballs and I take them all, I'll fucking tip my cap. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you just have to sit, change up. But people do. It's not like they're not doing that, Jake. That's not, like they're doing it. Whatever.
The pitch moves a lot. For those that don't know, like I knew this number.
I did face him.
Whoa!
Oh, gosh. Give me a knock. Give me a knock.
Come on. Oh no.
Well, that's not even a change.
High slider?
Freaking backup slider.
Trev. That's got to be second deck.
I must have been hurt. I felt like
Oh, come on. I must have been hurt. Tommy Kahnle throwing his changeup 84% of the time.
Like, that's okay, whatever. We don't need to talk about Tommy Kahnle anymore, but oh gosh, there's more. This does not look like I'm comfortable at the plate, by the way.
Please.
I told you I did not look comfortable. Look at my stance.
God.
What's going on here? I'm nursing something, guys.
Up and in changeup. For those, I know we push our YouTube. Some of you guys just enjoy us as a podcast, and that's fine.
Yeah, you better go check that one out.
Trevor gets Tommy Kahnle. It's a 13-11. Is that the 12th inning of a Twins White Sox game?
It's no wonder I don't remember facing him, because those 2 at-bats are horrendous. You block those things, okay? That's what good hitters do.
Oh, my God. Trev, hey, I think if there's one team I really want to give love to the rest of this way before heading towards the second half of the show, it is the Seattle Mariners. Everything we said about Detroit, you kind of echo it for Seattle, right? But it's like they're tied for the division lead. The Seattle Mariners are off to a good start that we've made our jokes at their expense, and we get skeptical. Also, Seattle, I mean, how refreshing is like a Ben Williamson getting called up and hitting a little bit? Their main guys, I mean, Cal, we've talked about him a lot this year and what he's done. But they're getting contributions from the bottom of their lineup too, that Seattle feels a little different right now.
This is who this team can be, Jake. We know that they're going to throw the ball, and we said all you got to do is score a little bit. How are you going to do that? Who's going to be called up? Whatever it is, Ben Williamson, do your job. They can be the guardians of the AL West. Like,
Wow.
let's have Cal and then Julio later on in the season anchor that offense, and then let's just play some good fundamental baseball around that. Let's move some runners. Hey, JP Crawford's going to smoke one every once in a while like he did in this series. I think that's the formula for success for them.
Also, my guy, and I think one of the nicknames I maybe push the most on this show, Senor Smoke, Andres Munoz. At the end of the bullpen, you could say he's been the best reliever in baseball this year. 13 innings, a 0 ERA, 17 strikeouts. Obviously we know they're starting pitching. When Munoz is doing this, that the rest of the bullpen can fall in line. And you know who's another guy I just really like? Dylan Moore.
I was gonna, when you said my guy, I thought you were going Dylan
Really?
Moore. You went Munoz, which is fine, but I knew you were gonna bring it back to him. He's been incredible, man, and he could be, like, this is what they need. They don't need him to be an 882 OPS guy. It would be nice.
It'd be great. But
nice.
He mashes lefties. He's done that his whole career, and he can actually play everywhere. Like I think we fell into this weird versatile baseball world where there were some guys that couldn't play any defense, that it's like, oh, well, no shots fired to my guy Miguel Andujar. He got moved around a lot because he wasn't strong defensively. Guys that can really play a position well. I know Willie Castro last year was a great example. That's such a valuable asset, whether it's injury or just matching up against a pitcher. They take down.
You're showing your Twins bias by not mentioning Jorge Polanco. That's fine.
I mean, I said Willie Castro last year. That's all you're
nice,
getting. I guess, Trev, whatever you want to clean up. Twins White Sox really doesn't deserve to be talked about. Royals, happy for you sweeping the Rockies, but unfortunately everyone is. I hope this sparks your bats. Pirates, Angels, yikes. Texas and the A's probably deserve to be talked about a little bit.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. I watched the second game. Kumar Rocker, they just were relentless against him. Like first pitch swinging. That's what they kind of do.
Yeah.
Like it was. I believe they batted it around in the first inning. That was incredible. And then last night Jacob Wilson with the walk-off knock. They're a fun team to watch. I've been saying that. They just have
Wilson's
3-ball
first walk.
In this series, Jacob Wilson got his first walk, and it was hilarious. Is this it? Yeah, here it is. They're cheering in the dugout. His first walk of the season, dude. He's hitting 330 or whatever he's hitting. This whole series was really cool too, because they were showing, Nick Kurtz, the guy that got called up. His dad was in the stands, and right behind him is Jack Wilson, who's cheering for his son. Like, it was kind of tugging on my heartstrings. But they are. If you want a team to watch and it's late night on the East Coast and you're like, hey man, I'm still up. You're like Jake Storiale, just getting high at night.
Whoa.
Check out the A's game.
Rumor mill. Kurt's
oh, that's
coming
me.
in.
Sorry, that's me.
Mason Miller, kind of a sick walkout song if you haven't seen that. Jock 0 for 41. I mentioned it before.
You got a knock off Mason Miller.
Pinch hit, and hopefully that's what sparks him and maybe the whole Rangers offense. Again, I'm glass half full with them that their offense hasn't really done anything, and they're still tied atop that AL West. So
agreed. The pitching's been great.
We've been sucked into the NL West because they have 4 teams going nuts. We mention our East Coast bias sometimes. I think the AL West is coming back. I like where Houston's heading. I like what Seattle's done early on this year, and I think Texas hasn't clicked yet.
You laughed at my changing of the guard in the AL West. There's something to that. Look at the standings right now.
There's something to that. April 25th.
I don't want to. I talked about the cycle of the A's, and we're seeing this beautiful young core come up, and we've seen it so many times with them, and they win a little bit, and then they don't stick around. I hope this is such a fun team. Like, keep these guys.
They're entering their little AZ window, which is just where's the roof? All right, let's get into the second half of the show, and it's brought to you by DraftKings. Baseball is a marathon, not a sprint. And don't miss a second of it with our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, all new customers who bet just $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you use code JMBaseball. From every game, the start of the season to when the champagne bottles are popped at the end of the year, DraftKings has you covered. Same game parlays, odds boosts, and so much more. So, new customers, JM Baseball, DraftKings Sportsbook. $5 on any wager gets you $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code JM Baseball only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Which brings us to Standout Performances. This guy stood out for Trev.
I kind of want to do two now that I'm looking at the sheet. Ooh. I went with Reese Olson. We kind of mentioned him on the way through the series. He goes 7 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 7 Ks. He was his first 3 starts. He was like the guy in that rotation that wasn't performing. And then over his last 2 starts, totaled now 12 1/3 innings pitched with no earned runs. Jake, 12 Ks, only 3 walks. So he's figuring it out. He's giving them a true 5-man rotation. So I wanted to give him a little bit of shout out. And then I forgot to mention this. We didn't really talk about the series. I was going to mention it during that. Andrew Heaney, he goes into Angel Stadium. He goes 6 innings pitched, 1 hit, 9 Ks. He was just absolutely doing it while wearing number 45, which, if you know, I got it right behind me. Was my buddy Tyler Skaggs' number. He's wearing it in honor of him going into Angel Stadium, shoving a nice little homage to our guy Ty.
Yeah, I thought you might land there. Heaney's been awesome this year. He's another guy, the fastball radar gun wise doesn't jump off, but when he's on, guys just can't hit it. We've talked a little bit where we think Pittsburgh season is heading, that he could be one of the more exciting. You need some innings. Trev, I had kind of a eyes wide open moment. I wonder if him and the Yankees would like another shot at each other. The Yankees really need starting pitching. Heaney, I don't know the guy, but I'm assuming he's a pretty competitive cat that he cannot love how New York went down. Yankees really need starting pitching. Every team needs starting pitching. So this is
everyone knows the second time is always the best time, Jake.
What are you talking about?
Who's your standout?
Man, I'm regretting not giving it to a Met or Houston. I picked our guy Bryce Terang just because he is doing it again. Bryce Terang got off to an amazing start last year, and he was like leading the WAR leaderboards, and it's happening again. He's got a 1.2 B WAR right now. He's hitting 346, getting on base at a 386 clip, 838 OPS. For the way this guy can run, he had 50 stolen bases last year. So Bryce Terang, he just fell off so hard last year. Where his end of season offensive stats landed didn't really do the justice that, it's still a 4.7 WAR season. Like that, guys don't do that. And he was on pace for a lot more. He's leading the National League in hits. He's leading the National League in runs. He's leading the National League in games played. You gotta be out there. Great defensive player. He won the Gold Glove last year. Like, this guy is all around. And if his stick stays the whole season, you're talking like one of those like 6-7 WAR, which is rare air.
Yeah, he's like a Pete Armstrong for me, where his defense and his speed are going to give him a high floor, and then if you put together a great season offensively, look out. Coming into the season, he decided he wanted to try to slug a little bit more. And he was kind of worried about contact rate, on-base percentage, all these things. Hasn't changed a bit. And the slug has gone up. So he's trying to do more damage. It's worked. He's very, very fun to watch.
Rob, Bryce Terang came to the office last year, and Rob has a story, and I have a story that I left out. As Bryce Terang and Sal Frelick, they came to the office, and I don't know if their PR guy said something, but, they weren't jonesing to do a lot of JM silly content. They just kind of wanted to come through, say what's up. Right? And we did a couple things with them. Awesome dudes. I didn't have a ton for Bryce. I think I was like recording Talking Baseball the majority of the time they were here. So I got to see them for a second. And the last thing I saw from Bryce Terang, he hit a moonshot in Toronto. And I was like, dude, you pissed on that ball in Toronto. And he was just kind of like, yeah. And that was kind of it. And I was like, I wish I had more.
He hates you.
I'm shooting blanks right now. And then, Rob, I don't know if you'd like to share this or not. I think you should.
Well, we were doing a lot of jam entertainment content at the time, and I figured a cool short would be to try to name a name that's not a name. Like, you know.
I didn't understand that either, by the way, when you said that.
It's
the whole thing.
Right. It's a little play on words, tricky question, like June, you know, or it's a month or something. And he just goes, a name, and then that was it. And I was like, okay, that works for me.
So maybe we're just trying to win Bryce During back.
God, what did you guys do to him? He must think we are the worst company around.
They had fun.
They had a good time.
You tell him when I beat you in the sausage race?
Okay. I'm not doing that right now, Trev. I'm not doing that right now. You didn't know the rules. Yeah, false start. Anyways, Trev, there was a ton of Tyler McGill, Max Meyer. There's a lot of pitching performances. Why don't you get on Fuego for me?
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
And Fuego is brought to you by Corona, the official cerveza of Talkin' Baseball. Hit him with it, Trev.
My Corona sounds delicious right now at 8:22 in the morning. I'm going to start with our guy, Francisco Lindor. He went 7 for 12 in the series, 2 homers, 5 runs driven in. He hit his 20th multi-homer game as a shortstop. The only players, Jake, with more are Alex Rodriguez and Ernie Banks. How about Jordan Beck of the Rockies? He went 4 for 8. That's nice. 3 of those hits were solo home runs. Wilmer Flores, I'm going to talk about him a little bit later. Wyatt Langford, we talked about the Texas offense not really getting going. This is nice for them. 7 for 12 in the series, 2 homers, 2 runs driven in, and a stolen base. Victor Scott II, he goes 500 on the series, 6 for 12, 3 doubles and 3 runs driven in. And then for the week, we got Matt Olson, 7 for 20, 2 homers, 6 runs driven in, 4 walks. Okay. PCA, you're going to talk about a little bit later. He went 9 for 21, a couple big hits there. So I'll let you do that, Pop. And then my guy, Trevor Larnach, saving this twin season along with Byron Buxton, 6 for 20, 3 homers, 5 runs driven in, 2 walks, doing the dang thing, Trev. A couple nice homers, too. I like that. And let's get to some pitchers. You know, I like to give them some love as well. Max Meyer has that 14K game. The strikeouts and the whiffs on his slider are unbelievable. Go check that pitch out if you haven't seen it. I mentioned Mitchell Parker. He goes 8 innings pitched, 1 hit, 0 earned runs. He has a strike rate of 71% when ahead in the count this season. That's highest among pitchers in the big leagues. I just shouted out my guy, Andrew Heaney. Awesome, man. He's thrown his changeup 24% of the time on the first pitch of at bats this season. That's the highest among NL starters. Maybe hitters will start looking for that. He goes 6 innings pitched with no earned runs, only 1 hit. He looked really, really good. And how about Cade Povich of the Baltimore Orioles? Orioles, we need you. We need you. Cade needs you. 6 2/3 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run. He has a strike rate of 76% with runners in scoring position this season. Throwing a lot of strikes there. That's the highest amongst starting pitchers that are qualified in the major leagues. And that's who's in Fuego, Jake.
Oh, Max Fried doppelganger. Or not doppelganger, but kind of throwing motion.
Lighter pockets.
The other one, Max Meyer. Is there a little Sonny Gray in there, or am I just kind of being a short elitist a little bit?
I could see like the short arm action too.
Yeah.
I could see that.
And I'm glad Jordan Beck got shot out. 3 homers in one day, the doubleheader day. That's nice. That's got to be a pretty nice night. I just hit 3 home runs.
He's going back and looking at those highlights all night. Probably ordering nice room service and just watching himself hit homers. Oh, that's what I did?
Reveal. Trev, you get who's hot. I tend to get who's not. Art imitates life a little bit there. The guys who are struggling. Ryan McMahon, 2 for 41. That's 049. Man, he's missed on 53% of his swings on breaking pitches. That's the highest in the National League. He's run a little hot and cold through his career. Let's get the hot going. Brandon Lowe, I was just saying I was penciling him to the Astros October run. Well, he's got turned around 5 for his last 42. Second highest whiff rate this year. Yeesh. Kyron Paris, Trev, this is tough. This was your guy driving kind of the Halos research. Is it okay?
It will be. He just has to remember to be like, he's not taking like confident swings right now. The recognition phase that was so good early on isn't necessarily there. He seems a little quick on the trigger. But yeah, he's got to get that back.
67% of swings on elevated fastballs this year with that's the highest of MLB hitters. Carlos Santana's in a 7 for 48, hitless in his last 22. Man, Michael Massey. God, we like that swing. It's just not working right now. 2 strikes. He's having a bad time, which I think is going to come up in a little bit. Guys with 2 strikes who are having a good time. So let's get all those guys off the struggle bus. Guys that are on even more of a struggle bus. The IL update. Nobody likes to be hurt, Trev. Luis Ariz, after that collision, he went on the concussion IL. So let's hope it's that short 7-day trip. My guy, Rob Brantley. Damn, love me some Rob Brantley. Chase Mydroth. I don't think I'm saying that right. Prospect for the White Sox. He's right thumb. See what goes on there. Spencer Strider, the hamstring. I think we mentioned that in the midweek. Lane Thomas was having a really, really rough start to this season. 4 to 6 weeks with a bruised wrist. Corey Seager for the Texas Rangers, hamstring strain. Yikes, that's not going to help. Willie Castro, oblique. Trev, go talk to your guy. I know you know about obliques. Jake Mangum, who was doing a lot for Tampa Bay, left groin strain. And Kumar Rocker, right shoulder impingement. So let's, for his young arm, let's be careful. This is where the show starts to turn. A crescendo of sorts. Returning from the IL, not yet, Trev. Keep it ready. Brian Bayo, back for those Sox. Some power changeups. Mason Wynn for St. Louis. We love that. CJ Abrams for the Nationals. And we missed it with Milwaukee on the way through. Tobias Myers, who was one of the breakout pitchers of last year. He came back for them. Now we can get it started, Trev. The weekend is here.
Awards!
Please.
Shout out, Kels.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get straight to the point with mine. I'm giving Wilmer Flores my award.
Wow.
I am.
Whoa.
I think I've kind of mentioned it during the show a couple times, so no surprise there. When you have a team like the Giants who are performing the way they are, typically you have guys kind of overperforming, if you will. And I think that guy for the Giants is probably Wilmer Flores. And I'm not saying like he's going to crash down to earth, but the rate that he's driving in runs is incredible. He's tied for the league lead in runs driven in 27. And it's the way that he's doing it, man. Like it's not slug. It's just he's putting the ball in play. He's taking what the pitchers are giving to him. A lot of singles like that. The at bat yesterday, where he did not drive in a run, but he got Yaz first to third, I believe it was. He got a backdoor slider first pitch from Tyler Alexander, took it, and just worked that at bat down to where I believe it was 2-2, got the same pitch and just shot it in the 3-hole. And it was just a masterful piece of hitting. So this is a guy who's, I think a lot of people remember him from the trade that didn't happen. Look at this piece of hitting. Love that. That gets my juices going right there. A lot of people remember him from crying on the baseball field, kind of with the Mets, essentially. But he's found a home here in San Francisco, and he's DHing. But when he is in there, it's just quality at bat after quality at bat to the tune now where he's got an 820 OPS, a 135 OPS plus, and like I said, up there, if not leading the league in runs driven in. He has been. I mean, I think there's a lot of guys that have done really well for the San Francisco Giants. Is he like the team MVP right now? I bet a lot of guys in that clubhouse would say yes. So I wanted to give him a shout out. I don't think he gets. I think Willie Adames comes over, Matt Chapman's there. They can talk about the pitching staff. He gets lost in the shuffle quite a bit, but because at the rate he's driven in runs this year, he's getting a little bit more shine. I wanted to continue to do that. 15 games, he has a run or more driven in the Giants season so far. A guy that now has over 11 years service time, just kind of like scratched and clawed to get it, made $36 million. Like I just like stories like this. A guy that's just kept grinding. I have him and like Miggy Rowe kind of like in the same category where like they're not like the elite baseball players, man, but they're great for the clubhouse and they know what they do well and they're solid ball players, which you have to have on your team sprinkled in between the guys that can do all the crazy shit on the field, that have all, the physical abilities. Like Wilmer Flores isn't necessarily that guy, but he's like I said, he's gonna have 12 years service time at the end of this year, man. Like an incredible career. I don't know. I just wanted to shout him out. That at bat yesterday, I know that backdoor slider. It's a pitch that used to get me all the time. And for him to be able to make an at bat adjustment on it just shows you kind of where he is at the plate right now. I thought it was really special. So I wanted to shout him out.
Yeah, it's really some analytics for me. It's really hard to be good at baseball. And then we get caught up in the freaks, dude. We get caught up in Bryce Harper and Ellie De La Cruz and Judge, and it's just like those guys are those guys are a lot closer to superheroes than like the average human. Wilmer, again, probably might be closer to superhero too, but he has just been, since 2016, he's got a 110 OPS plus. Like he's just been a solid B baseball player for coming up on a decade, and that's really hard to do. And yeah, I felt bad because I feel like I was hyping him up before last season because in 2023, a 509 slugging, like it was kind of this cool story of like, look where Wilmer Flores is at in his early 30s. Last year, injuries, some poor play. To see him bounce back has to feel really good for the Giants. And when it comes to the Giants, we always say we need a little more hitting, right? And he's providing that and driving in runs with the superheroes.
Yeah, I mean, right now he is leading the league with runs driven in. It's a fun story, man.
It's a great award and a great. I love me some Wilmer. Everyone does. Maybe that's the secret, like that very high Q score. Trev, I'm gonna. I don't know what I want to call this award. Maybe the inverse Goldilocks. No, it's all bad.
What is that?
Maybe it's the young bull and the old calf and even something in between. I can't get over this, and it's gotten stuck in my head. And if it's honesty hour, one of the guys I was unsure about, and he's probably, well, I was gonna say he's playing the best. This award goes to the Cubs outfield, and where Trev, I originally was gonna give my standout to all three of them because all of them had 3+ hits on Tuesday night against the Dodgers. But it was, we did the trip to Wrigley and I was talking to a lot of Cubs fans and I just had this light bulb moment, and I've talked about it a little bit, but I was like, this outfield is a dream. And we've talked about it defensively, but there's just some beautiful baseball to it. And I like that you went with Wilmer and I landed here because I can read you Kyle Tucker's stats and tell you how good he is. And he's one dotting right now OPS-wise. He's one of the better defenders in right field. Great. There's kind of this 1 year. Are we only going to get this for 1 year? Or are we going to get this for a decade? That there's some tension in the air? I kind of like that. Okay. You and me like a little sexual tension. Ian Happ. Like, sign that little extension. We owe him some wine. But he's also, there's something to Ian Happ, and a guy that plays great defense every day and switch hits, and he's a part of the fabric, and the coiffed hair looks beautiful. He's got the turtleneck on in April. There's something beautiful about Ian Happ and what that's supposed to be for every team. Every team should have an Ian Happ. Like, he's not going to win the MVP, but he might be an all-star. He's probably going to win the Gold Glove. He's going to be switch hit at the top of the lineup. Like, a lot of moms have crush on Ian Happ.
Oh yeah. That's the best thing you've said this entire award. That is so true.
Trev, the young bull is here. Pete Crow Armstrong, I've raved about him, and maybe people are getting sick of it because they're like, okay, Jake, like you're half friends with another baseball player. Sick. Trev, there's part of me that didn't want to like believe Pete Crow Armstrong is this. because there's not a lot of these in Major League Baseball. He's third in WAR right now. It's Judge, Corbin Carroll, who might be a similar player comp for him, which Corbin Carroll's a guy that we're like, in his best year, he could win MVP. Like, if Shohei doesn't pitch, like, Corbin Carroll is in the running, and this guy might be it. He's 23, and I don't even care about social media or him being a nice guy, which he is. He plays some of the best center field defense you're going to see. He runs like the absolute wind. And he's got power in there that I was skeptical of. Like, for a lot of these guys that are so good at defense, this is my speed defense episode. I highlighted Terang earlier. You don't see a lot of guys that can do everything on the baseball field. It's what we just said about Wilmer. He can do everything, bro. And this Cubs outfield. And by the way, Seiya could play outfield, and he's hitting almost with a 900 OPS. I left him out of this exercise because there's just something. Ian Happ's been there, and the hair's beautiful. And with Ian Happ, Chicago, yes. Kyle Tucker, we want to love him forever, can we? And Pete Crow Armstrong, I think the city's fallen in love, and they're going to at least love him for the next 6 years and maybe longer, but the Cubs got to up that offer.
You said there's not a lot of guys that can do it all on the field. The three of them can do it all on the field.
Yeah.
So they have three of those guys. I wonder when they traded for Tucker, they thought like, wow, like we had the best outfield in baseball. They probably did. Here's your award, and I'm going to turn it into an exercise for our fans. Okay. You're a parent. Just put yourself in mom's shoes and or dad's shoes.
Fine.
And your daughter is being coveted by these three gentlemen. Who you picking? Because like you said, you got Ian Gentleman or Ian Gentleman.
Ian Gentleman.
That's Ian Happ's like a gentleman. You know, Ian Happ is going to treat your daughter right. And then, but she's like, Dad, I really like this young guy. He's a lot of fun.
He's
and
electric.
your dad looking at Pete Crow Armstrong, you're like, well, I like the dynamic player he is, but also, honey, he's kind of a wild card out there.
Yeah.
But also a sweetheart.
Yes.
And then Kyle Tucker doesn't care about your daughter at all. Or maybe he does. You're not really sure if he cares about your daughter. Who you picking? I think as a dad, I'm going Ian Happ, but that's just me.
on paper, Kyle Tucker, he went to the best college. It's like got the most stable job in a way. Yeah, that was interesting and a weird place to land, but
it was a weird place.
That's what we do on this show.
Okay.
May all of your teams have winning weekends.
Trick question. Seiya Suzuki wins.
Yeah. Wouldn't mind that. Kind of the alpha. Thank you guys so much. Comment below. What are you mad at? What did we miss? What did you like? What do you want more of? We will be back on Monday. Play ball.
I was watching the Dodgers Cubs game, and Workman zooed that ground ball. Teoscar had a great series. I don't know. Jake sucks. I can't hear the music, but my buddy was like, Dodgers. And I was like, just hold on.
Hold on now.
And sure enough, the Cubs came back. Go Cubs.
Go Cubs. Go is electric.
Is it?